At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world.
Hello and welcome to the 21st episode of Knittingabroad. I'm coming to you from the wonderful Göteborg, Gothenburg in Sweden, and as you can see I changed a little bit my surroundings, so you have to look at this wonderful building place there in the back, because I have moved to my boyfriend and now I'm sitting at the wonderful balcony in the wonderful sun, although there are a lot of grey clouds, there is very much sunlight glancing through, so it's a wonderful weather, wonderful spring weather in Gothenburg. Yeah, it has been a long time. I know there has been happening much besides of all the chaos that is in the whole world right now. There has also happened a little bit much more than a little bit in my life, and therefore I took a little break for to concentrate on the important things, like all the people I love and care about, and not so much you, which I also like, but yeah, you're not my nearest one, so therefore I had to make a little break from you. As always, you can find the show notes on www.knittingabroad.com, and if you have Ravelry, you find them also there in my group Knitting Abroad, and you can find me there as Knit Abroad, and all the pictures and everything that is important you find on Instagram, where I am Knitting Abroad, and I will link everything as I will write everything down here in the screen, and all the other things you can find on the places I just talked about. Yeah, I'm beginning with my finished objects. The first one I finished since Christmas were the socks from my boyfriend. He has them on his feet right now, so therefore I get a wonderful picture here in front of the construction site. Yeah, what I did there, I knitted with Ferner wolle with a self-striping, also not striping, but it's self-peddling yarn, and it was really wonderful to knit with. And as you can see on the picture, as on this other picture, you can see that now I and my boyfriend, we have the same socks as well. Not really the same, but as liknande socks that look alike, and yeah, that's very cozy. They're knitted in a DK yarn, so it was fast knit, and yeah, just normal vanilla socks, so there was also nothing really important about them, just that they were from my boyfriend. That is really important. Yeah, so that's for finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is also a pair of socks, which I have on my feet right now. They are my tutorial socks. There have you also pictures, so you can see them a little better. And yeah, they were knitted for my tutorial I did in Swedish language for knitting socks. It is a long tutorial. It's in 3 parts, and for those who never have knitted socks, or which has there has been a long time since they have knitted socks, and they will repeat the whole thing about them, and yeah, so they have all they need about socks in this tutorial. The cast on, the heel, the decreases and everything they need. I'm knitting with the yo-yo heel, so it's also a very easy heel I'm using in this tutorial. So for all those of you who are speaking Swedish, and for all those of you, those who like to hear me speaking Swedish, which is good but not perfect, you have the tutorial. And now the light is a little bit different because the sun is going behind the clouds, but yeah, I cannot do so much about it because I doesn't have brought with me all the stuff from my old apartment yet, so therefore I don't have my lamp, which I use to record. So you have to take it or leave it. Tutorial socks. Was there more? Yeah, also Ferner. This time hand-dyed wool in this pink and red and lila and grey colorway, and they are also self-pattering. Little pooling is there, and also vanilla socks. All the tutorial can you find under my videos. I think it should be visible for you at the right hand side in the screen. So I don't know. We will see. Now to the third and last finished object, but the most important object. And if you, Claudia, are looking now, you can decide if you look or look back. Away. Decided? Okay, so now I'm showing your pullover sweater. There it is. Decided? Wonderful. Ta-da! This is the wintry sweater from Amy Novel. It is knitted in wonderful cozy alpaca silk garn from Sandnes, which I bought here in Sweden. And it is a top-down pullover with the yoke and with some raglan increases. It is not cropped, but it is a little bit shorter, and I used to knit sweaters because she wanted to have it with skirts. And I hope the sleeves are long enough. I measured them, they should be long enough, but I didn't sew in the two, I didn't cut the two ends here in the sleeves because I wanted to fix the sleeves when I can give her the pullover in person, because I'm not sending pullovers around the world when they are hand knitted, and even though it is for warm for having sweaters now in Vienna, so she couldn't have it anyway. The yoke do you have here? As you can see, the stars are not at the same height. You have here a star which is a little bit higher, and there you have a star which is a little bit lower, and they're higher and they're lower. And that was the thing which made it little. And so I wasn't reading it carefully. At first I knitted the row where you change the height of the stars. I knitted it as if the stars were on the same height, and therefore I had to knit back 3 rows I knitted, because when I had to increase the next stitch I noticed that there was something wrong. And so now it's right, because I knitted back all the 3 rows. But yeah, you have to be a little bit careful if you have a pattern who looks like it is symmetric all the time, which it is until you come till this row. There you have the beginning of the star, and there you don't have the beginning of the star. Yeah, that was that. And until that, everything is symmetrical, and the two repeats of the pattern are always the same. And at that point, they differ from each other. So, yeah, that's... If you don't read carefully, you have to have a lot more job as if it has to be, and if it's necessary to have to. But we all have knitted back some rows, haven't we? Yeah. Also, it's alpaca silk, so it's not the yarn which is intended for that, because for colorwork you intend to have a yarn that is not so slippery, so therefore it's so I think you did a very good job, but sometimes you see that the stitches are not so neat, so they could have been if they had been in a yarn that was more rusty. Yeah. Other things, also first you have the yoke, and then you have here some raglan increases, which was new for me. I have knitted also, also I have knitted only pullovers antingen eller with yokes or with raglan increases, not with both. So there I had both. I think they are very good because they get a better form on the upside of the pullover. Yeah. The back is a little bit raised with short rows, so that you have a good raising in the neck, and yeah. Otherwise the pattern is, I think, not so much beginner friendly because you have much rows. There you have just one stitch of the contrast color, and then you have many stitches of the main color, so you have to weave in the yarn väldigt, alltså ganska ofta, many times. And yeah, but I think also it was cool to knit, but it was not a pattern I could knit without paying attention on which stitch I was. So it was very important to think of that I have to weave in the ends, also the yarn, not at the same time where I weaved it in the first time. And yeah, it's also, that was, also for me also if I didn't have done it many times before, I would have lost a little bit the how should I say, my nerves. Yeah, that is the pullover. I think it was a beautiful combination. It is a beautiful combination of color that my sister chose when I sent the pictures of the yarn to her, and yeah, I called it Wintry Stars because they the yellow, also the golden yarn, reminds me of stars in a winter sky. The pattern from Amy Novel is just wintry. She's knitting it in red and yellow, I think. It is also very beautiful in the original colors, some which are shown in the pattern. Yeah, so much to my finished objects, and now I make a switch to my works in progress. I'm beginning with the shawl. It is a Colorwork shawl. I started with a knit along from my best friend's podcast, Wolle. She did knit along with designs of Melanie Berg. This is her book, Melanie Berg's book. The shawl I'm knitting is the Millas Daughter shawl, and I'm knitting it in a wonderful violet and yellow yarn. There you have it. They have the lace part. The shawl is knitted from this end up, and it's growing and growing and growing, and it's huge right now, and I guess I'm in the middle. I have not counted. Melanie Berg's designs are really cute. The knit along is over because I was not knitting so fast as I wanted to, but that's no problem because I like to knit it anyway. So it's no problem if it takes a little more time. There you have the shawl I'm knitting in Melanie Berg's version. I have talked about the book, so I don't want to talk about it much more now. About the knitting, I like the knitting because it is a good combination between no thinking for me and much thinking for me. Also lace, much thinking. Garter, no thinking. The only times you have to think is at the beginning and at the end of the row. There you have to have a little. You have to know in which row you are, because sometimes you have to decrease and sometimes you don't have to decrease at this end. So you just have to count the rows, but that is so easy because you have violet, yellow, so you can count the stripes. So it's no problems about that. The lace pattern is very cool. I open it up for you a little bit. So this is going to be the lace pattern in the end. It has a wonderful row, also decreasing row. The stripes in this direction, which are in wonderful contrast to the stripes in this direction, I think. I'm getting much more better at lace every time I knit the repeats. I'm making less mistakes, which I'm very glad. Which makes me very glad. So, this is the project, and now to the yarn. The yarn is a dream of Road to China lace in silk and jewels. you have the colorway Tanzanite and Star Lemon. Do you see? Tanzanite. There was Star Lemon. And that is Tanzanite. Combination is wonderful, and they are so silky and so cozy because it is camel, cashmere, silk and baby alpaca. It's the silky, fluffy, wonderful dream you can dream of when you dream of a dream as well. The best. And as a contrast yarn, I have a Ferner lace yarn, which is a hand-dyed yarn with just wool superwash. And oops, the colorway number is D602, and it is not so much contrast as it could be, but I'm very glad that it isn't so much contrast because I like it that it is so. It's a detail that you have really to look at, that it is a contrast. When you look here, you see that this row is a little bit more green. There you see it. There is a little bit green. So it's just, yeah, it's just something you see when you are really near, and that I like because that's just me. I'm seeing it. That's cool. Yeah, that's my shawl. It's a lot of stitches and a very thin yarn, so it's a lot of time which I have to spend to finish it, but yeah, we don't have stress here. Next work in progress is work I will put aside again for a little time, because I'm a little bit frustrated because of my cat, so I'm pretending as nothing has happened yet. Maybe some of you recognize it from Instagram. Also, I've knitted the body of my friend's cardigan, which was wonderful when I was finally finished with the body for her, because I thought, oh man, now I'm finished with the body, and now I have just to knit the sleeves, and then yeah, finished. And when I did this here, I saw something. My cat. I love him. Oscar is wonderful. But he likes wool. Almost every wool. And he liked this wool so much that he ate it. And now I fixed it, but you can see. There was a hole here, and that was my cat. And when I was doing and fixing this, I found that he did another hole here, which I also fixed. And now I'm a little bit frustrated about knitting it, because yeah, it already has 2 holes I had to fix, and I lost a little bit, how should I say, I lost a little bit patience with this because yeah. But the body is looking fine. It's a wonderful cardigan, and yeah, just the sleeves are missing. Yeah, maybe next autumn, but not now. Yeah, as I said, I love my cat, but yeah, holes in knitting, not so good. Not so good for knitting mojo, as you can see. Yeah, so not finished yet, and not going to be finished until autumn, but just now it's also spring is here and it's a warm wool, and also Oscar is toppen, but yeah, also not so much knitting on this, and you will not see it until it's finished, and when it's finished that can take some time. Yeah, because if you leave just so a little bit in out of the bed, also he's biting at it and eating it, and I have a strange cat. My cat loves water. A short story about Oscar: if you in the bathroom and wash your face or wash your hands or wash whatever you want, he is coming and wanting water. You have to spill a little water on the floor, and then he slicks the water from the floor. If you don't do it, he is sitting there and looking at you. Give me water! Yeah, when it takes not so much for it to make your cat glad you do it, but yeah. And last but not least, the next work in progress I'm working on. You have here the first, not total finished, but almost finished Mittens. Those are the Scandinavian Selbu, Speedy Selbu mittens. I'm knitting them for my boyfriend. Yeah, he doesn't need them anymore because it's spring, but yeah, I'm knitting them I'm knitting them. I'm finishing them now, so that them are clear for winter next year, also you know what I mean. And this is the Istex Alafoslopi yarn. It's a little bit thicker, and it is recommended for the yarn in the Speedy Selbu mittens. And it is dark blue and light grey, and they are so here. Oops. Hello. And this side is the very easy side because it's always just one blue stitch, one grey stitch, one blue stitch, one grey stitch, and there's just a thumb missing. And there I have started with the other one. There's not so much, but I think I'm finishing it today or tomorrow, so that I'm not having to knit with such a thick yarn when it's so long. Yeah, the yarn is Alafoslopi. Oops. Those two wonderful skeins, much yarn. And this is the colors have just numbers, so therefore you have them here in the bottom. And yeah, the pattern is relatively easy. They're going well, it's not really fast. Also Speedy, Selbu Mittens. I like the pattern of Skinny because it is really easy to read and also easy to knit. That I took a yarn which is a lot more thicker than that what she is using, but I'm using the same needle size, has the reason that I wanted them to be really warm, and they are a little bit tight right now, but I think they are going to grow a little bit when I wash them. And yeah, they are, no matter what, wind resistant and everything, because they are so thick yarn, a rusty yarn, colorwork, and yeah, everything. So they should be really warm, and I hope they fit and they keep that they keep my boyfriend warm in the next winter. Yeah, so that's for my works in progress. And then I have some works in progress more, which I'm not progressing just now. So after I have finished my Selbu mittens, I think I'm going to finish another works in progress or so before I start something new, because I wanted to clear my works in progress a little bit and yeah, focus a little bit on those things I started so that I can finish them and show them to you. And yeah, but I will definitely cast on a new pair of socks, because I saw them, Sissy, she called them Luna Lovegood something, and I need to knit them. I got a wonderful yarn from her for that as a striping yarn, and I think I will I will knit them at next and cast them on next. I'm not I do not remember now what the pattern was, but yeah, I'm inserting it there, and yeah, inserting a picture here so that you can see what is on my list next. And then it's on my list a new shawl, which I think I'm going to knit, and I know I'm going to knit it with Mia's wool play yarn. It is the first yarn I bought for me this year. The other yarn I bought did I buy for projects I needed for someone as a gift, and I wanted to not buy any yarn this year for myself, but then I saw that Mia has filled up her Etsy shop with this wonderful yarn, and yeah, I couldn't resist. And yeah, because I had to spend much money on my teeth at the last time, I thought, oh man, okay, one bit of yarn can I afford? Do I have to afford for my soul that I don't have to spend money on things I have to? Yeah. But I think it will be the only yarn I buy for me, because I have so many projects I want to knit with the yarn I have. And yeah, the next project will be a shawl with Mia's yarn. And I'm not really sure which shawl project it will be, but I saw so many wonderful shawls the last time on Instagram that I have so many inspirations, and I think, yeah, I'm going to find something. So for now, that was all from the wonderful sunny Göteborg, Gothenburg in Sweden. And I thank you for spending this time with me today, and wish you all a wonderful Easter holiday. And thank you for watching. Bye.
I'll be gone for now, but you can still hear the sound of my voice.